Flow, or the zone. The two most used phrases to describe the moment when a person, maybe an artist or a writer or an athlete, experience peak moments in the creative process. I have felt this feeling of flow when I am drawing. I am hyper-concentrated. I don't have the need for anything but this moment in time when I am creating something new, beautiful, interesting, and I hope unique. Craving that moment when my creation is complete and I feel the awesome satisfaction of having brought a bit of me into the world. I have found no other time when my sense of pride and satisfaction are so acute. It is intoxicating. I have never dissected this experience until now. So we've been talking in the flow criteria as defined by the psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and he talks about 8 elements: clear goals and immediate feedback, balance between the level of challenge and personal skill, action and awareness are merged into a single goal, focusing all concentration on a limited action, the feeling of control, self-consciousness disappears, an altered perception of time, and the experience is self-rewarding. Having experienced the balance of all of these elements to reach the state of flow, I know that it is not easy to remain in flow. It has been proven that during these peak moments, our brain goes through a change, the part of the brain associated with self-reflection. The precuneus becomes very active in this highly creative moment. The precuneus is considered to be the default mode area of the brain network. It is the systems which work without you intentionally thinking about it. We usually talk about auto functions like breathing. The default mode is in contrast with the executive faculty. This is where we derive our capacity for attention and reason. During normal states, we are in control of our focuses and thought processes. When you're in the zone, this changes. The inner voices that are always talking in your head are co-opted by the default mode network, which goes into overaction, and the executive network effectively deactivates. So how does all this connect to the classroom? In our cohort, we discuss many ways to facilitate flow during student learning. I'd like to talk about the 4 criteria that seem to be the most important. Let's look at the reachable goals. After digging into research, this one rose to the top as the most important of the 4 elements for creating flow in the classroom. If the students have a clear understanding of the desired outcome, there is buy-in. And if they are also part of designing the steps to get them there, flow is possible. Without student involvement in this step, there may not be 100% interest, and so there is no buy-in. Tasks must be manageable, but not too easy. Once the goals are set, the tasks to reach these goals are essential. If the student agrees on a list of tasks and they can see a clear path to follow, then they are more likely to have success in completing this process. Feedback. We all need feedback, whether it's work or play. If we receive feedback along our journey to reach a goal, we can adjust our actions as needed, and then we are more confident in the steps we are taking to get there. Confidence and control are part of being in the zone. No distractions. This is probably one of the hardest things to achieve in a classroom. There are always distractions. Some students might be more focused than others in a collaborative project, and working times are often limited to 45 minutes or an hour. It takes time to get in the groove. Carving out enough time from the classroom schedule is necessary, but challenging. And lastly, if we want students to determine goals and then monitor and adjust their approach, they need to engage in metacognition. Here is a diagram from John Spencer's blog post which walks through the process. This learned way of thinking will help students learn to prepare themselves for their future. Thank you for listening, and here are my references for my project. I would like to give a special thanks to my daughter who provided the video at the beginning.